know, we hear an awful lot about waiting on God. How many of you always say we need to be waiting on God? And I think waiting on God is a great thing that we should be doing. But you know what? God's waiting on us. And I love this story because it shows exactly what that means. It says in John chapter 4, I'm starting in the 4th verse, it says, now he had to go through Samaria. So he came to a town in Samaria called Sychar, near the plot of ground that Jacob had given to his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there, and Jesus, tired as he was from the journey, sat down by the well. And it was almost the 6th hour, which is about noon. It was about the middle of the day. He sat down to rest. You know, I'm encouraged because I get tired. Do you ever get tired? I don't mean physically tired. We all get physically tired, but you just get worn out. You just feel like, you know, what's the use? I can't go on today. Somebody else is going to have to do this stuff. I'm giving up for a while. Jesus got tired too. Here Jesus is going town to town. He's healing the sick. He's raised a dead person already at this point in his ministry. He raised up the widow of Nain. And he's done a lot of miracles. Crowds have come to hear him. This day, Jesus is just tired. And he says, guys, you go into town and get the food. I'm going to sit here by the well. Now we know that Jesus knew somebody was coming, but he was tired. He was genuinely tired. You know, when God sent his son in human form, he experienced everything that we did. So that when we're tired, you know, we can know Jesus was tired too. Jesus got so tired one day that he fell asleep in a boat in the middle of the storm. I mean, I'm lucky I'm not over the side losing my cookies, and Jesus is found asleep on the pillow. They had to wake him up in the middle of the storm. Jesus sometimes gets tired, but the good news is that he's waiting for you. Because as he's resting there by the well, Jesus was waiting for the woman to come. Because that woman, she was coming out in the middle of the day. There's been all kinds of theories about why she came and why the other women weren't there. None of that really matters because that's not what God put in the Bible. What God put in the Bible is that Jesus was there with all the thousands of people that he had spoken to. He came that day just for her. And that's what matters most. Jesus came today just for you. Jesus cares about you. He knows how tired you are because he feels that weariness in his own heart because he walked these roads that we're walking today. And he understands and he's waiting for you. Are you ready to meet with Jesus today? We're going to read on a little bit farther. It says that and when a Samaritan woman came to draw water, Jesus said to her, will you give me a drink? His disciples had gone into town to buy food. You know, I always thought this was very funny, that Jesus is resting by the well. While Jesus is resting, he gets more work done than the disciples do who are working going into town. Jesus sat out of the town and met with one person. And soon everybody heard the message. The 12 disciples went into town and they didn't tell anybody. They just bought sandwiches. I don't know if they went to the local pita and hoagie shop or what they did, but they came back with some food, but they didn't tell anybody about Jesus. But Jesus sat out there by the well. He told one person, and she soon went in and she told everybody else. Jesus is waiting by the well because he wants to talk to you. Yeah. Isn't that great? Jesus. Why would Jesus want to talk to me, I think, sometimes? I mean, sometimes that's not even that I'm not a good person. I just think I'm not even a very interesting person. Why would the guy who could create the heavens and the earth, the planets, and all the crazy animals that we've got, and the sea, and the storms, the tornadoes that come by, he's in charge of it all, that he would be interested to come and spend an hour talking with you.
I went through that.
And talking with me. But Jesus is. He's interested today to come and talk to Bernie and ask you what's going on in your heart. And he's listening for what you have to say. Jesus is listening for what you have to say. He isn't in a big hurry. He isn't in like me with a watch. He's not like looking at his watch. When are those disciples getting back to the sandwiches? But he's taking his time. He has all the time in the universe. He's done all the things that he does, but he's not too busy for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes the disciples are too busy. The people came to Jesus to have their children blessed, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute, time out here. Jesus is busy. Can't you see Jesus is busy? Oh, Jesus was angry that day. He said, let the children come to me. We always think of Jesus sweet and mild, sitting there with his arms around the children, but he just got done yelling at the disciples. Just remember that. He was like, in Italian we say, testa dura. Yeah. What's the matter for you?
Are you Italian?
Let the little children come to me. Because of what? Because of such.
Are you Italian?
Yes, it's the kingdom of God.
From where?
And he took them Calabria, where my
Calabria.
grandfather was from.
South.
Yes, way in the south.
I'm from Trieste.
Oh.
Oh, you are all done.
All the way down. But Jesus, he's not too busy for you.
I was over
He's
there.
willing to listen to you.
Oh, yeah.
And he starts out by asking a question. He says, can you give me something to drink? She looks at him and she says, how can you? You're a Jewish man. I'm a Samaritan. And not just a Samaritan, but a Samaritan and a woman. Boy, that was like way down the ladder in those days. Sorry to say that, ladies, but that was just the way society was back then. In Portuguese, it's easier because you just say Samaritana, and we knew that she was a Samaritan woman, and he was a Judeo, he was a Jewish man. He's like, why would you, a Jewish man, want to talk to me, a Samaritan woman? And then Jesus says, if you knew the gift of God and who it is who asks you to drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water. I love the story that's behind the writing of this song, and I was thinking of that as we close today, that the man who wrote this song, Fill My Cup, he was a new pastor of a church back in 1953.
Cool.
He was in his office there, and he was waiting to talk to a young couple who were wanting to get married. And he was waiting, and guess what? They were late. They were really late. They got later and later and later. He finally told the secretary, I'm giving them 30 more minutes, and if they're not here, I'm going home.
They're going home.
And so we went into the worship hall, and he sat down at the piano. He began to pray. God gave him this wonderful song. I pray that you'll be blessed. Like the woman at the well, I was seeking for things that could not satisfy. And then I heard my Savior speaking, draw from my well.